My name is Manuel Herrera and I'm a graduate student here at the University of Central Florida working with Dr. Daniel Paulson in the older lab. I'm also collaborating with Dr. Falcon in the University of Sao Paulo in the production of this research project. I would like to start talking by the concept of cognitive research, which Dr. Paulson mentioned before. And I would like to make it clear so that you understand a little bit better what this concept implies. When thinking about cognitive research, you can think of it as an onion that has multiple layers. And each layer could be equivalent to the knowledge or experiences that the person has gained throughout their lives. The more layers or experiences or knowledge the person has, the smaller the negative impact dementia, such as Alzheimer, will have on the brain. Due to the various difficulties associated with this type of dementia, specifically Alzheimer, caregivers of people who suffer from this disease might experience burnout, depression, or anxiety. So in order to protect the psychological well-being of caregivers of people with Alzheimer, several interventions have been designed to help them. There are three things that we found relevant to reduce caregiving burden, one of which is self-care. Self-care is keeping your mind and your body at its best to deal with stress, which can be achieved by trying to sleep enough every night. The amount of sleep you need could vary from 7 to 8 hours, but just make sure that you sleep as much as possible. Otherwise, it becomes more difficult for your body to perform the activities that you need to do every day. And if you don't sleep enough, you might also feel constantly tired. It is important for caregivers to eat properly as well as several times a day. Also, make sure you call friends and family if you cannot leave the house, or try to visit when you can. Social support is an effective insulator against stress. Processing of emotions is also important. Try to write what you're feeling or have a conversation with someone who's willing to listen. Look at the situation as a challenge rather than a threat, or as a learning experience rather than something so big that you cannot overcome. There are several ways you can take care of yourself. Just try to do it to the best of your abilities. The second recommendation that we have to avoid caregiving burden has to do with engaging in pleasant activities. First, try to identify those things you like to do. So go ahead and try to do at least one of them every day between your care duties or tasks. Hobbies or pleasant activities help us to go on in difficult times, and they help us avoid the monotony of life. People who don't take breaks in between work feel more anxious and burn out much faster than people who do enjoyable activities every now and then. Try to keep a record of these activities and make sure that you follow and complete the activities that you plan to do. Some hobbies such as painting, listening to music, snitching, playing a board game do not require much time, and they do not require you to leave the house. Engaging in pleasant activities has been proven that will result in an improvement of your mood, and you will not feel that every day is the same. In other words, you will be feeling more uplifted and motivated to deal with the challenges that you have ahead. The third recommendation is to think more carefully about your behaviors in response to the way that your relative says or does. Avoid blaming them or condemn them for anything that they do, and more importantly, don't beat yourself up. In addition, recognize when you're angry or sad for something that your relative did or said, so that you don't minimize their feelings, because even though they might be losing some cognitive capacity, they might still be able to feel sad or angry for what is happening to them, especially in the early stages of the disease. When recognizing your own behavior, like expressing anger or feeling sadness, try to identify what preceded it. In other words, what prompted this response from you and what time of day it occurred. So think about what happened after or how you reacted. If we can identify what causes a behavior and your response to it, we will be able to better manage the response that you have to this same event in the future. Finally, try to keep a record of the behaviors that you would like to change, as well as its predecessor and consequences. You will find that if you become aware of your own behavior, its causes and consequences, you will be able to manage your life and improve your relationship with your caregiver. Finally, I would like to thank you again for participating in this research study, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.